I was 14 when Dad left us. It all started with a huge argument one day, the kind that echoed through the house. They were yelling at each other, and I felt terrible because I knew it was about me. Dad came home early from work that day and caught me wearing a dress. If I were a girl, it would have been fine, but I wasn't, just a boy, skinny, small, no muscles or body hair. In Dad's eyes, boys didn't wear girls' clothes. He started shouting, and Mom rushed in, telling him to stop because she had given me permission. He turned on her then, blaming her for what he called my perversion. He even threatened to beat it out of me. Mom told me to go upstairs and shut the door, so I did. I changed back into boys' clothes, putting the dress away, just in case. I sat on my bed, feeling miserable and trying not to cry. After a while, I heard the front door slam. I looked out the window and saw Dad throw his suitcase in the car, then drive off. Mom's crying reached me from downstairs, but she calmed down quickly. I went down to see if she wanted to talk. She wrapped me in a huge hug and said, "Leonard, your father's left. He's not coming back. I've known for a while that we weren't right for each other. We got married too young, but now I'm older and wiser, and we'll be fine. I'm divorcing him, and you'll stay here with me." I didn't know what to say. I knew I was supposed to love my dad, but he wasn't kind to Mom, and he wasn't kind to me. So, when he left, I didn't feel sad. I just felt relieved. "Mom, does this mean I can dress up at home?" She smiled. "I guess it does, dear. I noticed you changed out of your dress earlier. I understand why you did. You still need to wear boy clothes at school or when you're with friends, but when you're here with me, you can dress however you like, girl or boy. It's up to you." I couldn't believe it. I felt a rush of gratitude and love for her. "Thanks, Mom." "Upstairs and change," she said, giving me a playful swat. "Go on, Scoot." Mom had known for a while. A few years ago, she caught me wearing one of her slips and a pair of her panties. She stayed calm, asking me if I wanted to be a girl. I said no, I just liked how soft and pretty the clothes were compared to the boring ones boys wore. She told me she understood but reminded me that Dad wouldn't approve. I could dress up when he wasn't home. So, on weekends, when Dad was out golfing or at the bar, and sometimes after school, I had time to dress up. But I always felt nervous, listening for the sound of Dad's car pulling into the driveway. I couldn't use makeup or nail polish, couldn't do anything to my hair. I was just a boy in a dress. But now, he was gone. I didn't have to be scared anymore. I went upstairs and changed into the outfit I'd kept hidden in an old gym bag. Panties, a slip, a dress, and pantyhose. Would Mom take me shopping for some new clothes? Would I have to go out dressed as a girl to try things on? I felt a mix of excitement and nervousness. I went downstairs, blushing, to show Mom. "Well, you look cute as a girl, but we do need to get you some new things. First things first, we need a name. What do you call yourself when you dress up?" "I don't call myself anything." "Oh, we can't have that," she laughed. "How about Emily? Short and sweet. When you're dressed as a girl, you're Emily." "Okay, I'm Emily." "Great, and Emily needs some clothes. That outfit is pretty worn out. We'll shop online tonight and get you some new things overnight." I couldn't believe how everything was changing. Good, I won't have to wear these old clothes anymore. "Thank you, Mom." Mom smiled and said, "Tomorrow will be our first mother-daughter day. You'll be Emily all day, wearing your new clothes. I'll take you to a beauty salon for a makeover, then we'll have our first dinner together as mother and daughter." I swallowed hard. Going out in a dress? Mom added, "I want to celebrate. There's a bottle of Prosecco in the fridge, and I plan to drink it all unless you want some." "I'll taste it, but I don't think I'll like it," I said. "That's fine, more for me," she replied, her mood lifting. She seemed younger and happier than she did just a couple of hours ago. With a pop, she opened the bottle, the cork bouncing off the ceiling. Using tall, narrow glasses, she poured a full glass for herself and a small portion for me. "Here's to freedom," she said. We clinked glasses, and I took a sip, almost choking on it. She laughed as I gasped. "No thanks," I said. "Let's try again." "Here's to my new daughter, Emily," she said, raising her glass. I felt obligated to raise mine. She gulped hers down, and I took a careful sip. I didn't choke this time, but I still didn't like the taste. Adults were strange. I put the glass down and said, "You know what we should do?" Mom smiled. "We should give you a bubble bath, and then change into something more comfortable, maybe play with your hair and makeup. Something like a nightgown." "I don't have one," I replied. "I'll lend you one of mine," she said. "We're close enough in size. I'll also get you some nightgowns of your own." I stepped into the bubble bath, and the soft scent of lavender surrounded me. The bubbles kept the water warm, and when it finally cooled, I stepped out feeling refreshed. Mom showed me how to moisturize my skin, apply body powder, and use a little cologne. I smelled wonderful, and for the first time, I felt truly feminine. Back in my room, Mom dropped a beautiful nylon nightgown over my arms, and it slid down my body. I reveled in the feeling, never having worn something so soft before. She held up a delicate robe she called a peignoir, and I slipped my arms into it. She tied a pretty bow around my waist. "You look lovely," she said. I clumsily curtsied, and she smiled, saying she'd teach me to do it properly. We walked down to the kitchen, and I loved how the gown swirled around my legs on the stairs. Mom took a pizza from the freezer, a light margarita pizza with a thin crust, and turned on the oven. While the pizza cooked, Mom went to an online store, typed in 14-year-old girls' dresses, and showed me the results. I was in heaven as we scrolled through page after page of dresses, discussing which styles I liked. I preferred frilly, feminine clothes, not the simpler styles many girls like these days. Mom suggested I buy some plain dresses for wearing out in public, but I could get a couple of frilly ones to wear at home. I picked 3 dresses that I liked, though Mom talked me out of one of them. I ended up with 2 simple cotton dresses and one with a bit more flair. "Okay, Mom, now search for Lolita dresses." "Lolita? Like the novel?" "No, the fashion style," I clarified. She gasped when she saw the results. "Oh my goodness," she said, clearly surprised by the Japanese pop culture influence. "It's like girls' clothes from a century and a half ago. Would you really want to dress like that?" "If I could, I would," I said, "but it wouldn't be practical. People would stare and laugh, or ask questions, and if they figured out I was a boy, it would be even more embarrassing." "You could wear them at home," she suggested, looking at the prices. "How about just one outfit to start? Which one do you like best?" It was hard to choose, but I finally picked a pink dress with a square neckline, featuring a bow in the center. It was trimmed with lace on the sleeves and waist, perfect. The full skirt fell just below my knees, with a lacy petticoat peeking out from beneath the ruffled hem. A cute little lace-trimmed mock apron adorned the bodice, and fabric bows decorated the skirt, nestled between ruffles and lace. I wore pretty white stockings, platform sandals, a fascinator, and a pink ribbon choker trimmed with pearls to complete the look. Mom pointed out that all the models were wearing wigs, so she added one that matched my natural hair color to the order. "This will make you look like a 7-year-old girl," she said. "Isn't it beautiful in the eyes of the beholder?" I nodded. Mom then added a few more items to the cart: girls' panties, training bras, and slips. She also picked out a cute denim skirt and some colorful tops for everyday wear, along with knee and ankle socks, and 2 nightgowns. "No trousers or shorts, just skirts and dresses," she noted. "Can you afford all this, Mom?" I asked. "We live in a community property state, honey," she replied. "We'll be fine." I didn't know what that meant, but if Mom was happy, I was happy. When we checked the shopping cart, the total came to nearly $1,000. Oh my God, do we have everything you need? Mom asked. I checked the list. Shoes, I've seen yours, she said. You can borrow them for now. Stockings, I'll give you a pair of mine, but you'll need to rinse them out after wearing them. You don't have the hips for a garter belt. She paused. Anything else? I shrugged. If we missed anything, we can order it later. Mom clicked buy now and selected overnight delivery. She stood up from her chair, and I gave her a big hug. Thanks, Mom. I can't believe Dad wanted to kill me for dressing up, and now you're letting me do it. You're amazing. Sorry I'm costing so much money. Mom smiled. I think of it as an investment in family happiness, something we haven't had much of lately. Good night, Emily, she said. Good night, Mom, I replied. The first Saturday with my new mom, newly free from Dad, was a new beginning. Normally, I'd have to dress as a boy unless Dad was out for the day. But this was different. When Mom knocked on my door at 8 a.m., she woke me with a cheerful good morning. I stretched in bed, enjoying the feeling of the nightgown and robe sliding over the soft cotton sheets. What's first? I asked. Bath, she said, and I could already hear the water running. The bubble bath was as heavenly as the one from the night before. I soaked in it for half an hour until the water began to cool. Afterward, Mom told me to moisturize and use body powder before getting dressed. She also said to wear the nightgown and robe until my new clothes arrived. Mom made us a veggie omelette, which we shared, though it left me feeling hungry. It's a girl's meal, she explained. You'll probably feel hungrier than usual until your appetite adjusts. Around 10 a.m., the delivery truck arrived with a dozen boxes, all addressed to Mom. It was my new female wardrobe. I couldn't wait to open everything. Let's open these in the guest bedroom, Mom said. I think we'll make this Emily's room from now on. Keep your girl things there and your boy things in your bedroom, so Leonard can still have his friends over. The name Leonard felt strange now, like it didn't matter anymore. At home, I was Emily. We opened the boxes slowly, like it was Christmas, and marveled at each new piece of clothing. We left a few boxes unopened, one was for the kitchen, and two held my Lolita outfit, which Mom said we would open later. I was thrilled with all my new clothes. I hung my dresses, skirts, and tops in the closet and tucked my new underwear into the chest of drawers. There were so many boxes to recycle. I wish they could have shipped everything in 1 or 2 large boxes instead of a bunch of smaller ones. All right, little Miss Emily, time to get you dressed, Mom said. Pick out the panties, bra, slip, and dress you want to wear this morning. You can try on the other dresses later if you like. I chose a matching panty and bra, along with a full slip, and then debated over which dress to wear. After some thought, I picked a semi-formal dress that I thought might be nice for a dinner at a restaurant later. It had short sleeves, a jewel neckline, and layers of champagne organza. The bodice was embroidered with flowers, and a broad ribbon sash circled the waist, tied in a bow at the front. The knee-length skirt was full and had a built-in petticoat. Oh, that's beautiful, darling, Mom said. Let me do your hair and makeup before you put it on. You're a little young for makeup, but considering the occasion, a light daytime look should be fine. As for my hair, it was just a plain brown, collar-length cut. I'll give it a simple center part for now, she said, but we'll see what the salon can do. Will they know I'm not a real girl? I asked. Mom smiled. I'll explain that you're a special kind of girl. They have a private chair, so they won't embarrass you. She took me down the hallway to her room, where she sat me at her vanity and brushed and parted my hair. It wasn't perfect, but it did make me look a bit less boyish. She then did my face and nails, just a touch of pinkish eyeshadow, subtle eyeliner, soft pink lipstick, and matching nails. The makeup softened my look and made me appear more feminine. Since I hadn't hit puberty yet and didn't have any facial or body hair, the changes were more noticeable. I stepped into the dress carefully so I wouldn't mess up my hair or makeup. Mom zipped it up and adjusted the sash. When I looked in the mirror, I was surprised by how much of a difference the dress made. I actually looked pretty. "Oh, don't you look lovely?" Mom said, fussing with my hair. "We have some time before lunch. Can you start teaching me how to walk, sit, and move like a girl?" "Good idea," she replied. For the next couple of hours, Mom taught me how to take shorter steps, swing my hips, smooth my skirt when sitting, and sit with my elbows close to my waist. She showed me how to hold my head and how to look at the sole of my shoe or at my nails when talking. For lunch, we had half of a veggie wrap, but I was already looking forward to dinner. I hoped there would be chicken. Girls liked chicken, right? After lunch, Mom touched up my makeup and hair, then told me to get in her car. She showed me how to sit properly with my knees together and swivel into the car while wearing a dress. As she drove me to the salon, she said, "You look about 80% like a girl now. After the makeover, you'll look 95% like one." "What would make me look 100%? I asked. Mom thought for a moment. "Chest, waist, hips, skin. In other words, hormones." "Would you want me to do that, Mom?" I asked, unsure. "It doesn't matter what I want," she said. "It matters what you want, but not now. It's too soon to talk about hormones. Let's just focus on making you as pretty as possible for tonight. I'm taking my daughter out to dinner." "I'm nervous, Mom. I've never been to a fancy restaurant." "You'll be fine," she reassured me. When we arrived at the salon, she helped me out of the car, escorted me inside, and handed me off to a receptionist, who led me to my stylist. Her name was In, and she showed me to a completely private chair, where she completely ignored my male features. "If only your hair were an inch longer," she said. "I can do a short bob with bangs. That'll make you look a lot less boyish." "Will it be boyish enough for me to wear to school?" I asked. In considered it. "If I sweep the bangs across your forehead instead of straight down, it'll look a little girly, but isn't that what you want?" "I guess so," I replied, unsure. "All right, let's go for it," she said. "Some of the girls will think it's cute." When she was done, I liked the haircut, but I worried about what the other kids would think. On a bigger guy, it might have been fine, but on my smaller frame, it made me look noticeably more feminine. I loved how I looked in my new dress and makeup. The transformation was incredible. Latricia, my esthetician, gave me an adult look with smoky eyes and red lips, making me appear a few years older. I felt like a teenage femme fatale. Cindy, a girl who stopped by, pierced my ears, and I chose studs with tiny pink jewels. A young, pretty nail technician named Hun painted my nails the same rich carmine color as my lips. In the mirror, I hardly recognized myself. I moved, behaved, and looked like an attractive young woman, a reformed tomboy, maybe, finally getting it all together. When Mom saw me, she gasped. "My little girl, all grown up." We thanked Latricia, Cindy, and Hun, and I hoped Mom tipped them well. As we walked to the car, Mom asked, "How are you enjoying our first day as the new you?" "I'm really enjoying it," I said. "I look so pretty in my dress, hair, and makeup. I look like a girl, not just a boy in a dress, and you seem so happy." "I am happy," Mom replied. "It's been a long time since I could say that. I love you so much." She pulled me into a big hug and twirled me around before setting me down. We held hands all the way to the car. A breeze playfully lifted my skirt, and no one on the street even glanced our way. I managed to get into the car modestly, and Mom drove us home. "Now, Emily," she said as we walked inside, "when you're a girl at home, you need to start helping with the household chores, what men call women's work. The first thing you need is a nice, clean apron." She led me into the kitchen, where a large amaze box was on the table. She gestured for me to open it, and inside were 4 white cotton aprons, all trimmed with ruffles. "2 for you and 2 for me," she said. From now on, when you do housework, you must wear an apron over your dress. Mom told me to go upstairs and change into a simpler dress for housework. I chose a cotton frock with a pretty floral print. When I returned downstairs, Mom tied an apron around me in a big bow at the back. "Oh, the apron makes you even cuter," she said. "Time for a little housewife training. Let's start with the laundry." She had me fetch all the dirty clothes from upstairs and bring them to the laundry room. She showed me how to separate them into piles, delicates, light colors, and dark colors, and how to set the washing machine and dryer for each. I loaded the delicates into the washer, added detergent, and started it. "Now, you have about 40 minutes to do something else while the washer works," Mom said. "Normally, you'd start another chore, but today isn't about that. Let's pick out what you're going to wear tonight." "I'm nervous about going out in public," I admitted. "You were fine at the salon," Mom reassured me. "It's a nice restaurant, so you can wear one of your fancier dresses." We went upstairs to my closet, where I held up dresses to myself and listened to Mom's advice. In the end, I chose the sleeveless champagne organza dress I'd worn earlier. I laid it on the bed and went downstairs to move the load of delicates into the dryer. When it was time to dress for the restaurant, Mom checked my legs, approved of their smoothness, and decided to let me borrow a pair of her pantyhose. She showed me how to put them on, and they felt amazing as I slid them up my legs and tucked the panty part into place. The fabric hugged my body in a way that no boy's clothes ever did. My slip slid smoothly over the pantyhose and felt just as wonderful. Mom helped me into the dress and zipped it up. I slipped back into the 2-inch pumps I'd worn most of the day, and we went to her bathroom to touch up my makeup, hair, and scent. "It'll be chilly after dinner," Mom said, pulling a white shawl from her closet. "This is the softest pashmina I've ever felt," she said as she draped it over my shoulders. "Get your purse, and you'll be ready." I looked at her, confused. "What's an LBD?" "A little black dress," she replied with a smile. "Every woman has one." "I don't," I pouted. "You're not a woman yet," Mom laughed. "You're still a girl." She smiled again and shooed me out of her room so she could change. Downstairs in the living room, I sat on the couch, feeling overwhelmed by all the changes. My new clothes this morning, my hair, makeup, and nails at the salon, and now, I was dressed as a pretty girl about to go out to a fancy restaurant. I mentally reviewed what Mom had told me earlier about walking, standing, and sitting like a girl, then stood up to practice my walk. A few minutes later, Mom came downstairs, looking fabulous in her LBD, complete with a pearl necklace, bracelet, and earrings. We grabbed our purses, carefully climbed into her car, and left. I felt a mix of excitement and nervousness about being out in public again, hoping no one would recognize me as a boy. The restaurant was called Shayel, and the staff seemed almost entirely female, as did the clientele. There were more female-male couples than I was used to seeing, and I wondered if it was a lesbian-friendly place. Was Mom exploring new feelings she couldn't express when Dad was around? If so, I was happy for her. The hostess led us to a table in the back, near the kitchen, and I wondered if it was a kid zone area. But Mom spoke to the hostess and passed her a bill, and immediately, we were led to a much better table by the window. I smoothed my dress beneath me before sitting down. "What was all that about, Mom?" I asked, curious. "She tried to assign you to purgatory for the sin of having a child," Mom replied. "I explained you were a quiet, well-behaved young lady who wouldn't dance on the table, and I convinced her to reconsider." I was confused. "What's purgatory?" "It's somewhere that's not nice," Mom said. "But fortunately, it's imaginary." Our waitress arrived, welcomed us, handed us menus, and went over the specials. When she asked about drinks, Mom ordered a Pinot Grigio. I asked for a Diet Coke, but Mom canceled that and ordered me a Virgin Piña Colada instead. I felt a bit resentful but was also curious. I'd never had one, and why not explore the world of Virgin Piña Coladas? The menu had plenty of vegetarian, vegan, and gluten-free options, plus white meats like chicken, turkey, and pork, but no red meat, like beef or lamb. Lots of low-calorie, low-fat choices were available too. Mom ordered grilled salmon with sautéed mushrooms and roasted asparagus, but I wanted the same. She insisted we try different things, so I opted for a thick pork chop, roasted baby potatoes with rosemary and sea salt, and sautéed broccolini with dill and pepper. Mom assured me broccolini was more tender than regular broccoli, so I decided to give it a shot. Our drinks arrived, and I approved of the virgin piña colada. It was sweet but refreshing. By the time we finished our drinks, our food arrived, and we ordered another round of drinks. The food was fantastic, though I had no comparison, since this was the nicest restaurant I'd ever been to, but Mom seemed impressed. My pork chop was enormous, wonderfully tender, and the broccolini was delicious. Mom let me order dessert, and I picked Death by Chocolate. She suggested we share, and I reluctantly agreed. After all, we girls had to watch our calories. She had coffee, but I didn't. She paid, and we left the restaurant. Outside, it was cooler, and I was grateful for my pashmina shawl. I felt so comfortable in my new clothes, everything felt right, even the heels. They felt natural, like they were meant for me. Mom drove us home, slightly erratically, but we arrived safely. The rich food made me sleepy, though I wasn't sure if it was the food or the coffee. Mom made tea for both of us, which perked me up a bit. "Now for your real dessert, Emily," she said. "Let's see you in your Lolita outfit." I instantly felt wide awake. We went to my room, and I opened the packages. The first box contained 3 petticoats. One was more elaborate with pintucks, ruffles, and lace trim, while the other 2 were net crinolines to give extra support. The second box held a below-the-knee pink dress with lace sleeves and matching accessories, white stockings, a cute lace fascinator, a pink choker with pearls, and the wig. I carefully put on the stockings and petticoats, then held my arms up for Mom to slip the dress over me. She zipped it up and placed the wig on my head, securing the frilly little headpiece with bobby pins. I turned in front of the mirror, delighted with the reflection. The clothes fit perfectly and were more feminine than any dress I had ever seen, even more than my cousin's wedding dress from last year. The Lolita dress was incredibly elaborate, with narrow ruffles and a hem finished with larger ruffles. The lace-trimmed petticoats peeked out just a couple of inches below the skirt. I immediately fell in love with how I looked in the dress. This was the real me. I'd be happy to wear simpler dresses, but the Lolita look called to something deep within me. I could see that it was over the top and a bit ridiculous, but it didn't matter, I wanted it. "Good heavens, Emily," Mom said, eyeing the dress. "It's so fussy. Do you really want to wear all that? 3 petticoats?" "Oh yes, Mom," I said. "But only when I'm doing pretty things, like having tea, arranging flowers, doing embroidery, or playing with dolls." "Well, maybe not dolls, I'm too old for that now." Mom smiled. "I could make you play with dolls if I wanted. You could relive the girlhood you never had, dolls, little girls' dresses, pigtails in your hair. I could make you my little baby girl and put you in diapers, plastic panties, and baby dresses, but I won't." I almost asked why not, but stopped just in time. It could be fun to be a little girl for a day, but diapers? Not if I had to actually use them. "For now," Mom continued, "you'll stay the age you are. You'll wear the dresses you got today, and we'll buy you more. Your Lolita costume is for special occasions. At school, you'll still be Leonard." "I don't want to wear boys' underwear anymore," I said quietly. "I'll have to think about that," she said, her tone leaving little hope. "Maybe you can wear panties under your boy clothes." "Speaking of pretty dresses," Mom said, changing the subject. "I have something else to show you." She went into the closet and came back with a black satin dress trimmed with white lace, and a white satin apron, a maid's uniform. "Do you want me to be your maid?" I asked, the idea exciting me. It was a sexist stereotype, but a sexy one. I imagined myself in the uniform, answering the door and curtsying to visitors. "Only on special occasions," she replied. "A week from Friday, I'm hosting my monthly luncheon for the ladies' club. I'd like you to greet them at the door with a nice curtsy, serve the meal, see them out with another curtsy, and do the cleanup, all while wearing this. She showed me the petticoat and more accessories to go with the uniform. Oh my, I thought. I'd be exposed as feminine to a dozen of Mom's friends. They like to dress up for these events, but in my satin maid's uniform, I would be the most feminine of them all. It would be incredibly embarrassing, but part of me felt a strange thrill at the idea of the humiliation. The most awkward part would be doing all those curtsies, something they were sure to comment on. I would have to practice everything: curtsies, sitting, walking, behaving like a girl. Will they know I'm a boy? I asked. Not unless you expose yourself somehow, Mom replied, a little amused. The combination of the Lolita dress, the maid's uniform, and thinking about curtsies stirred something inside me. I felt an urgent need, and as much as I wanted to indulge it, I knew it would be crude and unladylike. Instead, I lightly played with the ribbons, lace, and ruffles on my dress, trying to calm the impulse. Go get ready for bed, Cupcake, Mom said. Not the black one, the other nightgown. Reluctantly, I took off all the pieces of my Lolita outfit, put them away, and pulled out the light pink nylon baby doll nightgown with matching bloomers. The nightgown was just long enough to cover me, but it was semi-sheer, and I felt embarrassed that it revealed more than I wanted: my pointers and my boy parts, which were still slightly enlarged. Mom was sitting in what used to be Dad's recliner in the living room. Come here, darling, she patted her lap. I snuggled up to her, feeling content. I had a really nice day, I whispered. Mom, I said, thank you for getting me all these new clothes. Oh, you're welcome, honey. You look beautiful in them, she replied. It seems you really like petticoats. I do, I said. I love how they rustle and swish around my legs. Well, we'll have to get you a nice one to wear under your regular dresses. They're all full enough to look good over a petticoat. And in your pretty apron, you'll look like an old-fashioned housewife. Oh, thanks, Mom. I love you. I love you too, Emily. Of course, I love Leonard as well, but I've always wanted a pretty daughter to play with. And now, I have one. Mom, what if Leonard just went away? I could do school at home, couldn't I? Yes, but I'd have to find the time to teach you, she said. You're not working now, are you? She smiled. I'll end up owning half of your father's business. I won't have to work for a while. Well, then why do we need Leonard around? Wouldn't you rather have your lovely daughter, Emily? I have to admit, she's more fun to be with, Mom said. The school year is almost over. Maybe I could homeschool you starting in the fall. Of course, you'd have to wear a cute little schoolgirl's uniform, a plaid skirt, a white blouse, knee socks, and Mary Jane's. Ooh, I want to go to the school of Mom, I exclaimed. Oh, Emily, Mom said with a deep sigh, a tear slipping down her cheek. I can't believe how nice today was. We'll have more days like this, two girls pampering themselves. I'm so glad your dad is no longer looming over us. I'm so glad it's just you and me now. I'm going to have so much fun teaching you how to be a girl. I shivered with joy and had to blink back tears. I love you, Mom. I love you too, Emily. Good night, Mom, I whispered, giving her a kiss. You know what, sweetie, she said. Call me Mommy. Yes, Mommy. Good night, Mommy. Good night, Emily. If you appreciated this story and wish to show your support, please consider leaving a like and subscribing to my channel.